Hello and welcome to today's practice. If you haven't practiced with us before, welcome. My name is Brenton. I will be our guide, and we're joined today by Ollie. He'll be also your guide in a different, more silent way, but maybe he'll say things.
Maybe I'll
say things. Sometimes he says things when they're good things. The name of today's practice is called Do Something New, and there's a really good reason why we want to always be doing new things with our bodies, and that is because our nervous system loves it. Sometimes when we have aches and pains in our body, it's our nervous system telling us that we're not doing enough new things to feel good and well balanced and well positioned to go out into the world and navigate through all the different wild scenarios that await us out there. So what we're going to do today is do some movements that might be genuinely new in our yoga practice, but what we'll also do is we'll learn how to keep some of the stuff we're already doing really fresh so that it never gets stale and we never stagnate at our growth levels. So, make sense? Questions? Good? Okay. Let's meet on our backs. And when you come down, take all the time in the world to come on down here. Move around in any way that feels good to you. So it's just like 30 to 60 seconds down here, moving and breathing on your own. And one of my favorite ways to start a yoga practice is to get the butt muscles turned on. Because they're really powerful movers and stabilizers of our pelvis, and we want the brain connection to them to be pretty automatic. So let's go ahead and lower the feet down to the floor wherever's comfortable for you, arms down by the side, and try to really root your rib cage down. So you're pulling your navel down, you're pulling your rib cage down, and keeping a sense of that in your abdomen. Press through the feet and roll the pelvis up off the ground. So just see if you can breathe here easily through the nose, and we'll tap the pelvis up and down from the floor a few times, still feeling like the abdomen is pulling into itself and also towards the back body, so it's never poofing up towards the ceiling. Now you can stay here and you can always take breaks too if some of what we're doing is so new to you that it's getting you tired. Then always take a break wherever you need to take a break, including turning the class off and trying again tomorrow. But from here, we're going to see if we can keep the pelvis lifted. I'm going to take my hands down to my hips just so I can feel them there, feeling the hips press up into the palms. And a really good way to always keep this fresh for the glutes is to start walking the feet forward. So could you press one foot down, walk the other foot a footprint forward, and then same thing on the other side. You want to try to do this where the low back feels pretty good and supported there, and see if it does something different or new in your hamstrings or butt. Okay, walk forward again, one more footprint. And then we'll start walking back. So one footprint back, and then another footprint back. And so your pelvis is pretty close to the floor here. It's not super lifted. See if you can keep working with me. Walk forward one footprint. Walk forward another footprint. Walk back one footprint. Walk back another footprint. So nice, easy breathing here. Let's see if we can do that one more time. Walk forward a footprint and another. Really holding that there. Walking back and then back. All right, so tap the pelvis down there. See how you feel. If your low back feels really tense right now, it's just telling you, hey, we got to learn how to use our butt and use how to learn the back of the legs. Your low back feel okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's interlock the hands behind the head with the elbows wrapped in. So here we really want to use the abdomen to pull down, pull the rib cage down, and then we're going to lift up off the shoulder blades any amount. That could be just even a centimeter of movement there. We really want the head nice and soft. You can roll the chin a little bit left to right. So you're not lifting up with your neck. Really use the abs. Pull down to lift the chest. As we feel ready, Release and relax that down to the floor. So one way to keep things new is to just keep adding progressions here. So you can decide, does this feel best? Or can you lift your legs any amount? So legs can be bent or straight. If you have a block at home, you can put it between your thighs for more activation. And then from here, lifting up off the shoulder blades. So again, head nice and soft into the hands. Get your sacrum on the floor. So push your sacrum down, but still pull your belly down. And your sacrum is on your low back. It's a fusion of bones back there behind the pelvis. As you feel ready, come on down from that. Release and relax. So keep the breath nice and full and deep, even when we're going into this ab work. So see if we can take the legs wherever is comfortable for you, lifting up off the shoulder blades. So sacrum down, belly down. We're gonna see if we can free the right hand from behind the head and reach it forward in between the legs. And then pulling the shoulder blade forward, could we lift the heart up off the ground? Really relax the head into the hand. Go ahead and take the right hand back behind the head, lift up and come on down. So just try to keep the breath nice and easy throughout the breaks and throughout the peaks. It's a little bit harder for me if you're listening to me breathe because I'm talking. Okay, set the legs. Come on up off the shoulder blades in your own time, head nice and soft. As we feel ready, free the left hand, reach it up and forward in between the legs there. And then pull the shoulder blade forward to come up off the chest. Let's return the left hand behind the head and come down. So keep that breath nice and easy and steady. As we feel ready, legs up, coming up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft into the hands. Free the right hand, reach it forward between the legs. From the shoulder blade, reach forward. Option, release the left hand, reach it forward to the outside of the left leg. If you have the mobility, fingertips touch. Otherwise, reach. Taking the hands back behind the head, come on down. All right, taking the legs, here we go. Lifting up off the shoulder blades, head nice and soft into the hands. Left hand reaching forward between the legs. Lift up from the shoulder blade, pulling forward. Right hand, maybe freeze. Can the fingertips touch? Keep breathing, we're okay. Reaching forward, hands behind the head. And oof, come on down. So we could keep going like this kind of endlessly, building and stacking so that it always feels fresh and new. But hopefully this is fresh and new enough for you today. Let's go ahead and come on up. Okay. Coming forward onto hands and knees here. And anything that feels good to you during this transition, because it's a big transition. So when you're ready to meet up in dolphin, we'll take the elbows down, narrow, under the shoulders, and then the hands are wide or clasped. That's up to you. So we can relax the neck as we lift up off the knees and do something supportive with the legs. So maybe they go wider. We're just trying to get space between the pelvis and the head. Really relax there and breathe. So this is a position, this one will feel new to us for a pretty long time in our practice. So a good way to keep it always feeling new is to practice every day. Give it a little bit more time than you like and breathe. You can even kind of shift your weight a little bit left and right in the shoulders so that the shoulders start to explore and really find areas where they feel supported. Okay, and as we feel ready, we'll go ahead and tap the knees on down there. Coming up to the hands. How long you spend in dolphin is really individual. So let's go ahead and lift up off the knees, press the pelvis up and back, down dog. So you can always bend the knees here, you can pedal out through the feet. If this doesn't feel like the greatest position, you can be in tabletop, where we just were, or even move your down dog to a wall, where you're pushing the wall away with your hands. Okay, so from here, pushing off the hands one at a time to walk back to the feet. And you decide here if it feels good to bend the knees, let the hands rest down, or let the elbows rest up on the thighs, or rest them over the couch. We want the whole back body to feel pretty evenly stretched. So if you feel too much happening in the low back here, really work on deepening your hip crease and pulling the belly contents in towards the spine. And that'll hopefully get you a little bit more feeling of stretch along the mid back, the up back, maybe the backs of the legs as well. Bending into the knees there, press down, slowly come all the way on up to stand. Finally, reaching ourselves all the way up to the sky, sliding the hands down. Full breath down into the belly as we reach the arms up. And then move from the hips. So keep your spine nice and long. Move from the hips as you come forward, releasing through the head and neck. Walking ourselves all the way forward to downward facing dog. So seeing if we can really grip the floor with the hands there and push more down with the fingers so that the wrists feel lighter. And then getting a sense of that shifting forward to plank top of a push-up where we get strong. We push and we lift the rib cage into the shoulder blades, but we're still wide in the chest. So keep breathing here. And then from here, we're gonna tap the knees down. We're gonna see if we can keep the neck nice and lifted as we bend the elbows and lower with control. Releasing through the tops of the feet there. Let's release the wrists here and maybe coming up to the forearms. So giving our wrists a little bit of a warm up here. We can extend and pat them down. So the wrist can be very problematic for people in yoga because we do a lot of weight bearing and we want that weight bearing to be supported by strength. This is creating the position that we weight bear on when you come into that extended position, but it's asking you to create it with your strength rather than the floor pushing into your hand to create it. So just getting all of those muscles to turn on there. And then coming down, use your butt muscles to push the bottom of the front of your pelvis into the floor and slide the hands back under the elbows. When the hands go back there, your shoulders probably want to dip down to the floor, right? So roll the head of your arm bone up so the shoulder blades squeeze together. But while you do that, keep your belly pulling up to the ceiling. From here, can you hover the hands up off the floor, but still keep the lift of the shoulders so the joint should feel spacious in here. You shouldn't feel any pinching in the joint. So breathing here, seeing now if you can push back, straighten the arms, but keep the shape of the wrist, and then hover the hands. Seeing if you have the clearance there to do that a couple of times, and you can always stop at a range of motion if something's not feeling super possible. So taking the hands down, keeping the shoulders in this shape as you push up, use your chest to straighten the arms, and then tuck the toes, shift the pelvis up and back, down dog. Grip the floor with the fingers and pull the arms up into the shoulder blades. Get nice and strong. As we feel ready, push off the hands one at a time to walk back to the feet. Take all the time you need there. Bend into the knees, slowly coming all the way on up to stand. At the very tip top of the pose, reach all the way up. Slide the hands on down. Reaching all the way out and up again. As we feel ready, hinging forward over the legs, forward fold. We're gonna walk ourselves forward and shift the knees down to the floor for a tabletop position. And just feeling the shape of tabletop, pulling into the shoulder blades. So breathing steadily here. We're gonna see if we can tuck the right toes under and step the foot back and feel the pelvis. Set it evenly between your legs and your armpits as much as you can feel that. And then keeping the pelvis like this, lift the right toes off the ground any amount. So you're using the muscles of the legs. You wanna feel hugged in at the core. And then we're gonna start taking the right leg over to the right and then back over to the left. So it's like you're painting a little line behind you left to right, but you're trying to move in the leg, not in the pelvis. As we feel ready from here, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, high plank, hold the pose just for a moment, and then tap the knees down. Keep the neck lifting as you lower all the way. Releasing here, let's go ahead and tent the fingers either underneath the armpits or nice and wide off the mat with the elbows up, and grip the space between the fingers as you peel off the mat any amount for a low cobra. And we'll just take this flowing up and down a few times. Starting that rippling effect from the base of the pelvis on the front of the body, drawing it to the spine and letting there be a ripple effect all the way out through the head. So we definitely want the low back to feel good here. And as we feel ready, hands underneath the armpits, keep the chest nice and open, and then use the grip of the fingers, the push of the chest to come up to the knees. Tuck the toes, shift the knees up off the ground, pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're gonna shift back down to the knees, shoulders over the wrists there, and then hugging in at the front of the body, stepping the left foot back behind us. So we want to keep that pelvis evenly set as much as we can as we lift the foot. So we don't want to dump into the low back. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess, is getting up here. And then moving left to right with that left leg, really being conservative with that movement so that you can get your pelvis to stay still. And this will stay new for a very, very long time. Mobility work like this, very targeted, precise mobility work. That's why I love it, because it can stay new for years. Let's go ahead and take that knee down underneath the body and then grip the floor, shift up and back, downward dog. As we feel ready from here, shifting off the hands one at a time to walk back to the feet. Weighting the feet, relax the head as you bend the knees and slowly come all the way on up. Reaching the arms up, hands down. Easy breathing here. So we're going to take the hands to the pelvis, lift up and down into our little heel bops. If your balance is kind of all over the place, go over to a counter, hold on there, and really try to get right up over the big toe ball mound. Try to not lead with any momentum in your skeleton. Sometimes you can kind of sway back and forth and use the speed to come up. But instead of doing that, try to keep yourself really still and use your calf muscles and your feet muscles to push and boost. Did I say boost funny? I know. Boost. Okay, so from here we're gonna do some half jacks. We'll just stand, you can face the front. As you stand on the right leg, we can lift the left leg out to the left. And this is where it's nice to move in front of a mirror sometimes, because then you can see if you're off at all, because you want pelvis right up over the standing leg. Get yourself nice and lifted here. You want to feel this in the butt of the lifted leg. So you can even pulse a little bit there just to try to get it right in the butt, get the butt to turn on. And then as you feel ready, walk forward. Right leg. Really get it right in that butt. Walk forward. Walk forward. And then we're going to put that and the heel bop together. So left leg out, back underneath, use the calves and the foot to come up and down, right leg out, coming back in, come up and down. So we'll just do that a couple of times here. And this is something we really should be doing every day. Again, this can feel new for a very long time because our feet are chronically weakened in shoes. So think of all the times you spend in shoes, and all of that time is your feet kind of getting to take a break, getting a load off. So here we got to put a load on, and this can be new for years. So consider doing something like this every day. And a good way to do this in a more challenging environment might be when you're hiking, when you have uneven ground below you, where the feet have new challenges based on what's going on underneath the feet. So taking that foot down, feeling the feet, the legs all the way up into the hips. Here we go, reaching the arms. And then hinge forward at the hips. Try to keep the spine out of the movement for as long as possible until you can't. Relax the head, hands down, stepping the feet back, high plank. So tap the knees down, and if you're still in the survival stage here that I call when you're still trying to figure things out, keep your hands where they are. But if you've been doing this for a while, consider a different hand placement with one hand, any hand placement. And then see what that feels like to pull energy up from the hands into the shoulders and work the shoulders evenly as you bend and straighten. Go ahead and walk that hand back underneath and pick any other position for the other hand. Same thing. Let's go ahead and do 2 more of these. Just find different hand placements, and all of these are great ways to load the shoulders. Don't think that being symmetrical is a must. So let's meet down on the belly. Releasing the hands back here, taking a load off the wrists. Let's go ahead and lift the feet and knees off the ground for locust. But use your butt muscles to really push the front bottom of the pelvis down into the floor. And so just swimming here left and right in the legs, picking those feet and knees up using our calves and our hamstrings and our buttocks muscles. Okay, from here, keeping those legs on, hands underneath the armpits, roll the shoulders up away from the floor, and then push up to the knees. Tuck the toes, shift the pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. We'll walk back to the feet again, pushing off the hands, coming all the way back, relaxing the head, bending into the knees, slowly coming all the way up, arms up to the sky, hands down, coming back to our heel bops. Now we said resist the sway of the skeleton, so we're not creating this with speed, but you could add speed into it as long as you're not doing it from the sway, but you're getting it really from the muscles pumping and boosting. I'll try to say that normally this time. Boosting. Okay, and then so from here, half jack again, we're gonna step out onto the left foot, taking the right leg out to the side. A little pulsing there again as we walk forward. Other side, pulsing. This time as we go out, we come back in, heel bop up, go out on the other side, come back in, heel bop. So we have that option, right? Or we can continue to add complexity for new stimulus. So this time, when you go out, could you do 1 foot heel bop, back in, 2 foot heel bop. Left foot out, 1 foot heel bop, left foot in, 2 foot heel bop. I feel like I'm Dr. Seuss. Okay, and so stepping up to the top of the mat, feel your feet, feel your hips there, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky, and hinging forward over the hips. Taking the shoulders over the hands as we walk the feet back. Knees can tap down or you can keep them up here. Again, walking the hands, bend, push up, walking the hands. Let's do 4. Okay, let's come all the way down to the floor. Let's do our legs again. So lifting up at the foot and the knee. The point here again is to get the muscles on the backs of the legs to turn on. So less is more. Really making sure the low back feels spacious and long. If you're ready to add more, foot and knee lifting, bending. Ooh, I got a little cramp in the foot there. Taking it back, lifting, bending. And we know that cramps are usually an okay thing. Just means our Our brain is not super used to the movement. It's not used to that request. It's trying to figure out how to make it all happen. And then as we feel ready from here, hands down, shifting up to the knees, walking ourselves into table. Remember what we did when we stepped the foot back? So we can do that the same thing with the knee, the bottom knee down on the floor. Or if you feel ready for it, tabletop hover. Grip the floor with the fingers, pull in at the core, see if you can take the right leg back. And again, moving it across to the left and to the right. I know. As we feel ready from here, taking that down to the floor, coming down to the knees, let's go ahead and lay down on the backs of the hands here, exposing the wrists to the other direction of movement. Bending the elbows out and up a few times. And then coming back up to the hands, walking them around to face the knees if they can manage that. Heel of the hand down there, so lean forward until that happens, but then bend the elbow away from it so you put the soft side of your forearm on a stretch. And then if you can lean back with your hips any amount, do that to find the maximum stretchy sensation through that soft side. As you feel ready, go ahead and walk the hands back around, grip the floor. If you did tabletop hover, again, find it more in your fingers than in your wrists. If you lift the left leg, take it back. And then from here, left and right. And as we feel ready from here, left knee down, taking ourselves all the way up and back, downward facing dog. As we feel ready from here, let's walk the right foot forward any amount. And we're going to build this progression of being able to learning how to walk forward. So as you walk, before you shift your left foot forward, shift your shoulders forward, then shift your left foot forward. Before you unweight your right foot, shift your shoulders, then unweight your right foot. Keep doing that until you lose space. When you lose space, lift your hands, finish the walk. But really move forward until you lose space, and that's where you keep this feeling fresh and new. Coming all the way up to stand in our own way there, reaching the arms wide and high, settling the hands down. All right, from here, let's come into a high lunge on the right side. So we'll step the left foot back. I like a shallow distance between the legs, so I can bend the back knee, scoop it forward, get the pelvis upright, get the whole torso upright here. And then we'll have the hands wherever they're useful to you. I'm gonna have them on the pelvis here because we're gonna go from this front-facing hip direction to an open one. So that can be kind of confusing on my hips. And so I wanna have my hands down here so I can feel around. So from here, I'm even gonna capture the space between my hip bones and my front ribs. And I want this to be pretty solid and intact. And I want that to stay put as I open to Warrior Two. So the Warrior Two position is just grounding that left heel, opening the pelvis as much as feels okay, and trying to get that foot, the feet and the ankles to feel okay underneath us. So however they need to be repositioned, weight shift, knees bent, knees straight, all of that good stuff. And then coming back onto the tippy toes of the back foot. When I come forward, I really want to pay attention to that back foot. So I'm lifting the heel all the way up to the sky. And then opening up, Warrior Two. Let's keep going on our own here. So it's kind of your pace. Again, use the arm variations that are useful to you. And if you're ready to add something new, meet me in high lunge, where from here we're going to hinge forward. We're going to keep the same length of the spine. Now I feel it more in the right butt. At the same time, I'm going to take the arms out to a T, pull in at the belly, and rotate on a shish kebab over to the right. So pulling everything into that body. As I feel ready, turn the heart to the floor, open, Warrior Two. So let's keep going like that. Pick any amount, if you're practicing with a partner, in closed space, just seeing how you run into each other. If you're in a room with a mirror, you can pay attention to being precise in your torso, your legs. Okay, and so I have one more thing for us. So you keep going. If you're ready for more, come forward and see if you can lift off the back leg. So you're balanced. Any amount, front belly in. As we feel ready, could you rotate open on that standing hip for a half moon? You got to use that butt. Use the right butt, not the low back. Good job. As you feel ready from here, ground the left foot to the back of the mat. Turn all 10 toes open, and we're going to forward fold over the legs. So if the floor is really far away, perch your hands up on a couch or up onto the legs. Move around in any way that feels good to you. Okay, so what's going to feel good to me here is coming down into the right, bending the right knee. So I'm in a side lunge, taking the left hand to the floor or to some furniture in front of me, and then peeling the right arm up to the ceiling, the right elbow with the hand facing away from us. So see here, pull in at your torso, like everything's pulling in around the spine and then corkscrewing. And then you can do this and come down and do it a few times, pulling up at that elbow, feeling the torso rotate around a corkscrew. And then maybe you want to hold it there and see if you can imagine like you're pulling a shirt from around your head. You're taking your shirt off at night because you're going into the shower. So doing that a couple of times, moving around. It doesn't have to be super precise, but just seeing how the shoulder feels moving there. Okay, and then from here, we're going to come back to center, stand all the way and up so we have our legs nice and wide, feel the feet pressing down, draw up into the pelvis and just feel this nice standing position. Yeah, if you want to reach your arms, you can. Just feeling ourselves stand and pull into center. As we feel ready, we're going to turn to face the front again. When we do this, we're going to stand on the right foot. Bring the left leg out to half jack to the side. And then it's going to come back behind the left foot like we've been doing in the tabletop. And we're going to bend the knees. Keep your right knee pushing inward over the right toes. And then we're going to push and stand up. Stand on the right foot. Lift the left leg out to the side, half jack. Stepping the left foot behind. Bend both knees. Right knee moving over the right toes. Out to the side. So that right knee is really going to want to push and blow out to the right. So you got to kind of keep it moving to the inside so that the out seam of that right leg really does some work and you're sitting into the butt. Sit into the butt. Okay. This time we're going to come out. We're going to take the foot back, but not so far. It's just sitting kind of right behind the right foot so the feet are down. And we're going to see if we can twirl up and down from the floor. And if you're like, no, that's crazy, what you're going to do is you're going to go around some furniture and you're going to use your furniture to help you get down and up, start corkscrewing down and up as much as you can. So it's going to start with your left foot right behind your right foot. You're going to bend the knees and see if you can take the butt down to the floor. It's like a half turn. How you doing? Yeah? Yeah, it's fine. So with the feet crossed, see if you can lean forward onto the feet and stand up.
That is different.
That's different, yeah. When you come all the way up though, untwirl, like on your tiptoes, like you were just, like you're doing your heel bops. And then back to the tippy toes, turn back into the twirl and sit on down. Okay, so you got furniture, use your furniture if you need it as you come up, untwirl, retwirl, come down. Last time, coming all the way up, and then twirl all the way down. So we did it, we're here, we're down on our mat. We can go ahead and uncurl ourselves onto our bottom with our feet in front of us and reach the hands back. If you're working with some sort of shoulder injury limitation, something like that, feel free to corkscrew the hands out. Otherwise, turn your fingers forward, but use your muscles up here to imagine that they're corkscrewing out. So using all of that stuff in the shoulders, we want to push down. We want to feel the torso become engaged. So the torso is trying to find whatever neutral means down here. Now you might be just holding the shoulder position and feeling a lot. If that's you, stay here. We're going to see if you can load the shoulder position, lifting the hips up any amount. Really grip the floor, pull energy up your arms so you're not just sitting on your wrists, and then come back down. So pushing and gripping through the hands, doing this however many times feel okay on the shoulder joint, and to whatever extent you feel calm and in control. Okay, from here, what we're gonna do is we're going to, if you can get your butt up, get your butt up. We're gonna see if we can unweight the left hand and turn open on the right hand so we're in downward facing dog, facing the back. There you go. But hold on, we don't wanna be in downward facing dog, facing the back. So could we stay in down dog, but start to walk the position around in a circle, putting our butt in whoever's face happens to be there. Now we're down dog to the front. Do something new. Okay, how do you normally come to the top of the mat? So figure out how you can keep that transition fresh and new for you. If you're hopping, if you're in that stage, start to hop. Otherwise, left foot. Shift the shoulders, right foot. Keep shifting and shifting. So it's like you're going back and forth, shoulders, feet, shoulders, feet. Go ahead, ground down, come all the way on up there, reach all the way up to the sky, and take the hands on down. Easy, slow, deep breathing into the belly. And then from here, stepping the right foot back into high lunge. Okay, breathing, setting up, seeing if you can feel the joints. Take breaks whenever you need to, right? So pulling in at the pelvis and the ribs, hold onto the abdomen or the pelvis here as you go into warrior two, opening up. Take some time there, any time in the world to set up, find like, cool, look good, I got my feet, I got my ankles, forward, and just explore these different hip positions. So you're trying to get the muscles close to the pelvis to do the work, using the butt to grip the back of the pelvis and maneuver the pelvis from the back. Okay, and then you can add on here. So coming forward, shifting forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Tee off the arms, keeping everything pulled into the torso, and revolve around a shish kebab. Stay nice and long through both sideways, coming back, opening, peeling open, warrior two. And doing this in your own time, whatever range of motion is working out for you today. That's what I love about a home practice is you don't get that interference with other people in the room, power dynamics, status dynamics of, you know, what everyone else is doing. You can just kind of dial in and really get your priorities straight about what you're doing when you get to the mat. So let's see from here, keep going, or see if you can lift up into warrior three, starting there. You want to feel strong in that standing glute, and you use the standing glute to manipulate the pelvis open into half moon if that's where you're going. You're holding on to the length of the torso. As you feel ready, land the right foot to the back, turn the toes open to the long edge of your mat, and we'll take a forward fold. I like to approach this from bent knees. And just moving around here, cruising. And if you like, bending into the left knee, keeping the right hand on the floor, lengthening forward, feeling the torso pull in as you pull the left elbow up, hand facing away. You might go down and up a few times. And if you wanted to keep it up and figure out that sort of around the head, kind of lasso, halo, take your shirt off type of moment. And as you feel ready, hands down to the floor, coming all the way up to a wide-legged stance where it can just be nice to feel a pose. I like to just feel very sober, let's say, in the legs and drawing up into the pelvis, solid in the abdomen. And then we'll turn forward towards the front. When we do that, we're gonna step forward, lifting the right leg out to the side. And then we're gonna bring it behind us. As we do that, keep the knee drawing in towards the left big toe, coming down and up. So getting that sense for what the knees are willing to tolerate and really getting the butt to do a lot of the supportive work. So even when you're going down and you're sitting back, you're sitting back. Okay, and this next time, we're not going to curtsy, just behind. So you're twirled up here. We're gonna twirl, where it's like you're twirling a little bit more to the left as you bend the knees and come down. Twirl to the left, come down, there you go. And then rock forward on the feet, twirl to the right, come up. Twirl to the left, come down. And to the right, come up. 2 more times. This will get your heart rate up a lot. This is something we should all be really good at doing, getting up and down from the floor. So you're down, let's uncross to the front. Let's come back to our reverse table position. So hands forward or hands out, whatever's more comfortable in the shoulder there. And feel the pose in the shoulders and in the spine. If you feel organized here, press down, grip the floor, come on up. And we'll just do what we feel ready for. So if you don't feel ready for this, don't do this. It's too new. You got other new things before this in the progression that you got to make old to you first. And if you're ready for more, when you come up, you know you can come up, taking an arm up, coming it up, taking the other arm up. And then this time, if you can keep your hips up, we're gonna turn the left fingers back, flip open on the left hand. Now we're in downward facing dog to the back of the mat. Last time, Ollie and I walked to the left. So this time we're gonna start walking the dog to the right. And then here we are, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're gonna shift the shoulders forward, tap the knees down, grip the floor, lift the knees, shift up and back, down dog. Shift forward, tap the knees down, shift up and back, down dog. 2 more. This next time as we come down, we're gonna go to modified side plank on the left. So from here, keeping the left hand, the left knee where it is, seeing if you can open your right hip like you're gonna pee on a fire hydrant. Use your left buttock to hold the pelvis as you push back through that right leg, and then see if you can peel the right hand off the floor for a little balance. Okay, so from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna step the right foot out to the right with the toes pointing away from us. So this is like a baby warrior 2. Ollie, if you wanna stay there, I'll give this view of it. So you're on the left leg, your right leg's out here. Now, what we're gonna do is push the pelvis forward so you feel on the left leg like you get nice and flat on the underwear crease, right? So let's take the arms out there, pull in at the torso, and what we're gonna see if we can do here is hinge forward at the hips, keeping the spine long. That's gonna stretch open the inner thigh if you feel that. And then press down, come back up, flatten the underwear crease on that left side. So here we go. Do you feel the right inner leg stretching? Okay. Really keep that knee pressing out over the ankle. That's good. And then from here, we'll take the right elbow down, left arm up. Really pull into the belly as you reach up and over the pelvis. Okay, from here, what we'll do is we'll reach the arms forward and move back into tabletop position, hands and knees. And from tabletop position, lift the knees, sit the hips up and back, down dog. So when you come up and back to down dog, you're not pushing your rib cage back. Your rib cage is actually lifting into the shoulder blades. Your rib cage wants to move forward to plank. So see if you can feel that. The rib cage comes down to table, and the rib cage resists it as the pelvis moves up and back, down dog. Coming down to table, up and back, down dog. Down to table, holding here, and then seeing this time if we can lift the left knee up like we're peeing on a hydrant, but hold the position with the right buttocks. See if we can get light on the left fingertips, lifting that up, pushing back with that left leg. So we're in a half side plank. It's a lot of balance. This is hard. Now we're gonna see if with control, can we step the left foot to the side outside the mat with the toes facing away from us. So here we are. And we're gonna take warrior two. So it's like warrior two in the legs, but modified, arms up, and keeping everything in at the belly. You wanna feel from hip bone to armpit, like that all feels pretty okay in there. And then if you wanna commit to it, hold it as you hinge and come up. And you just wanna feel like that left knee moving out over that left pinky toe. And then from here, as you come up, taking that left elbow down, right arm up, pulling in at the belly, pulling the ribs in as you reach up and over. As we feel ready from here, coming all the way forward. As we come down, we'll come down for dolphin one more time. So elbows down under the shoulders, hands wider clasped, and then lifting up off the knees, rib cage shifting up into the armpits. Breathing. Now, again, this can be new to you for a long time. Take breaks if that's you. When you're ready for more, just play with lifting one foot, then lift the other. And just like you're kind of walking out the dolphin, relax your head, relax your neck. And you can keep adding on to this. So when you lift one foot, you can push the leg back, draw the knee in, take the foot down, other foot up, leg back, knee in, foot down. There's lots of ways to add on to this progression. So you're ready for more than that. You're probably ready for things like forearm stand, headstand. Let's go ahead and come on down. Anything that feels restful to you. You ready to start cooling down? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're sweating a little bit. That's good. Okay, let's come on up to a seat. Any seated position will do. And if you don't like to sit on the floor, you can always now take this up in a chair or on a couch. So we just want to find whatever seated position is comfortable to you and see if you can get a sense of grounding down through both of your sitting bones and lifting up fully through the chest. So let's just do a little spinal series here where we start with the hands on the knees, and then from hands on knees, we can keep the low back where it is, lift the chest maybe an inch and a half as we kind of look up, and then we can curl the ribs in and the chin in. And then again, leave the low back where it is as we lift up through the chest. The low ribs are still pulling down, and then curling back. So when you lift up, your lowest ribs are pulling down and your top ribs are lifting up. So think about that action as you fanning out your rib cage. So to fan something out, they need to move in opposite directions. And so from here, let's try to continue similar movements, but add in some shoulder variations for the arms. So start here in cactus, just see how you feel with the chest open, navel drawing in, and we can just turn slightly in the ribs and see if you can feel your spine vertically in one place. So you're not getting pulled off of, let's call it a flagpole. You're just rotating around a flagpole. And then rotate to the right, soften the hands like snowflakes falling in a snow globe. And with the right hand on the left knee, just use the hands to push so you get a little bit of a lift. Don't use them to pull, but get them like they're pulling, like the fingers are pulling into the palms, and then use the chest muscles to turn more. And then keep yourself in the twist. Reach your back arm up to the sky. So now you're really long on that back side. Push down through the front hand to lift up, and then bend over the knee. Like you'll feel which knee you're trying to bend over. But try to keep the weight down into the pelvis evenly through both sides of the sit bones, even if that means you do less. And now see if you can fold that hand down to that knee so your hands are crossed in front of you. And you're just sort of bending in at the spine here. Now we'll go to the other side, but we'll see if we can go, we'll backtrack. So now keep your right hand on your left knee, unfurl the left hand up to the sky. So you're in that twist. And you're actually in the side bend. So reach that left arm up over the ear, pull the belly in. And then we'll lift the spine upright. You're still in the twist. We'll sprinkle the left fingers down behind us, and we'll scoop in at the fingers to boost ourselves up with the head. As you feel ready, unweight the hands from the legs, bring them into cactus in line with the heart, and turn the heart forward. Let's go return again, left and right. And if you're finding areas to linger and to hold, like Ollie's just kind of doing his own thing, then you just do your own thing. I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm just talking out loud through it. So turning over to the left, and then taking the right hand to the left knee, the left hand sprinkles behind. And then from here, reaching the left arm all the way up to the sky, lift up, and weighting both sit bones, reach up and over the right side of the pelvis. From there, folding the left hand to the right knee, and the arms are crossed in front. We just curl in and we undo it from the side. So we peel the right fingers up over the ears, so you're in that nice side stretch. And then reaching ourselves back up to vertical onto the flagpole, we take the right hand down behind us, sprinkle the fingers, hold the position, unweight the fingers, come to cactus with the arms, back and forth. So always want to make our spine taking in new movements. Our spine can move in a lot of different places, and it feels best when it knows how to move in all those places. It starts to feel achy and in pain when parts of it have been stuck for a really long time. So you feel like you moved your spine a lot? Okay, so let's go ahead and come on down to our backs and come to Shavasana. So whatever you like to do, even if you want to pause the video and do a couple of more stretches before you come down, that's totally fine. We'll just see here if you can find a comfortable position to lay down on your back. If it feels okay for you to close your eyes, close your eyes. Really try to tuck your chin into your throat. You can even take your hands behind your head and lift your head, tucking your chin and placing your head back down. And then if your chin lifts up again, you know you might be a good candidate for a pillow under your head. let's stay exactly where we are for another minute or so. During this time, let's really juice this Shavasana for all it's worth. So see here if you can soften your breathing any more so that your body is breathing on its own, the same way it does during deep sleep. See if you can soften your attention away from your eyes so that all the muscles around your eyes soften and expand. Your eyeball softens in your head, and you lose the desire to see anything. Soften the attention away from your hearing so that you don't mind any of the sounds around you. Finally, soften the attention around your skin so that the boundaries of where your skin ends and the rest of the room begins is a little bit blurry. And keeping all of this, because this is nervous system gold, keeping all of this starting to move the body again if you like. You can always chill out here for any number of minutes, ride this out into a nap. Yoga naps after yoga are always the best naps. But if you're ready to move on, you can go ahead and gently continue to move and transition until you come up to a comfortable seated position where we can take a couple of minutes for silent sitting if that's something you're up for today. So sometimes it's hard to carve out the time to sit silently, even though we all have minutes in our day where we could allocate and organize ourselves around that. So take this time, it's organized for you. All you need to do is just participate at this point. And so when you come up for silent sitting, you can sit on your bottom, on a chair, anything like that. And the goal is not to change anything that you're experiencing. The goal is to treat any thought or feeling or perception with a benevolent indifference. So you are the sky, and whether there's a thunderstorm or a rain cloud or a rainbow or nothing but like beautiful 70-degree weather, you are indifferent to any of that. I hope you enjoyed today's practice and that you really learned how to keep your practice fresh and new. I hope that you were able to do some movements today that you don't normally do, and that creates this sense of joy, this sense of childlike wonder about what's next around the corner, which we can sometimes lose in adulthood. So that it helps also our mind and our mood when we do new things to remind us that it's not always this monotonous get up, go to work, do this, do that. So hopefully you found fun new ways, interesting ways of moving. I also hope that you found ways of keeping your practice fresh and new as you do more of it, because as you do more of it, you're going to start to become more skilled, better at this stuff. It's going to start to feel easier. And so when that happens, we definitely want to make sure we're continually adding new inputs and stimulus into the practice so that it's always a little bit beyond what we're comfortable with. And that it does wonders for our tissues and also for our mental health as well. Before we wrap up today, let me do my announcements. So please subscribe to this channel if you like this class. We have new classes out every Sunday. Our big goal for 2020 is to get 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you can help us do that in any way, that would be 2 thumbs definitely up. And then also visit us online, because we're in a lot of different places. I think we're all trying to figure out right now how to be more connected with each other online. And so a great way of doing this is, and this is not just for us, but it's for any online content creator, is just go figure out where else they are. Go to their website, check out what they have over there. You'll probably be surprised at all of the different content that your favorite people are creating. They're creating a lot more than you're seeing, that's for sure. And their website is a really great place for you to go and see everything that they're doing. So go there. You can sign up for what we call our weekly letter. That's an email that you get just once a week from us with all the new content that we have. We also like to share stories with you during that time that help you frame your practice in your life so you're really getting the most out of it. And then, donations. Yeah, so we are a donation-based duo over here. We're really passionate about creating this content. We're really passionate about this sort of new internet model of economics that I think is a very beginning stage right now, and we're all trying to figure out how to do this ethically in the right way. But the way that I really see it is that this is education that should be free for anybody who wants to partake, and that for those who have the means to contribute, please do. It's not just, hey, it's a total free-for-all. There's definitely value behind this. There's tons of hours that go into the educational, the research part of it, but then also the technical aspects of it, getting all of the content out there. So if you are feeling better, you're feeling good, you're connecting with this work, we're here for you, we're cheering you on, and providing a donation is a small way to show us that you're cheering us on too. So I have a link to anywhere you can do that. You can make one-time donations, monthly donations on our Patreon, all of that good stuff. It's all in the link in our bio. So thank you all so much for joining. I hope you feel fantastic over the rest of the day. Please do let me know in the comments below how you feel, if you got questions, if something feels off. I do check them and I try to get back to as many as I can. So thanks so much, and we will see you here soon.